My name is Susan Jang, and I am part of a West LA CG group, and this is my story about missions and how our CG community rallied around that. My name is Susan, and I am part of the West LA community group. I was able to go on the India missions trip this past winter from December through January, and actually I was able to go with another CG member of mine. Her name is Eugenie, and it was a really, really amazing experience. And she and I obviously know each other through CG and have become close over the past probably 15 months that I've been part of the group. It was actually like an answered prayer on both of our ends that we discovered like in probably October, that we were praying the same prayer about going somewhere in the winter time, and then India came up, so it was kind of a perfect answer. Even before the decision to go, we both had asked for prayer about clarity on deciding to go. So, I definitely had like our CG leader, Jono, reached out and he's like, is there anything I can pray for you for? And I asked him, can you pray for me about India? I'm, kind of praying through whether to go or not. So even in that, just even leading up to the decision to go, felt very supported. And while we were there, it was just great. Like I feel are a pretty tight-knit group, and we have a WhatsApp chat that we have, and they would, be consistently sending us messages. And, there were a few occasions they're like, oh, we're praying for you. And, your guys' names have been mentioned in service. Just those small little notes were wonderful, because you send out your support letters and hope that people in your community group are partnering with you in prayer, and financially, we got support as well. And you just feel loved and supported and encouraged, and feel like you are doing it with them, even if they're not there with you physically. So when we got back, Eugenie and I planned to do like an Indian dinner for our CG. So we cooked some really amazing Indian food, and we got to share our story along with one of our other teammates, Nathan, about our experiences and what God taught us. And it was just, the ability to be able to bring back what some of the lessons that God taught us there and the experiences we had, and to, bring it back as kind of like a thank you also to for the support that they provided us in prayer, with partnering with us, and that was really, really special. And I think, as much as missions is about serving and receiving love from the community that you're serving, it also, I feel, helped bond our group a little bit closer together, which, CG is all about intentional community, and I think that was a really good way of outwardly expressing that with them. I think CG leaders telling their members of the upcoming trips is the first huge step. Knowledge is power. And then I think, once you decide to go, providing kind of a platform to share about, prayer requests, and especially while you're there, just those like quick text messages or emails. We're praying for you, hope everything is going well over there. Those speak volumes, especially if it's your first time on missions and maybe you feel like you're thrown in the deep end and don't know what you're doing. Just, that kind of encouragement and support goes a long, long way. I think the trip to India, there were so many what I call truth bombs that God put in my life. But I think one of the biggest takeaways is that missions is, yes, it's global and we can be sent out. But I think more than that, it's just receiving God's love and sharing it, and that's it, and God does the rest. And that can happen here too. It happens in our community groups, in our families, in our work communities, our school communities if we're in school. And I think just being authentic and loving the way Christ loves us is really all that we do, and then Jesus does the rest.
Susan, thank you so much for sharing your story. This is such a beautiful way of how community groups can really come alongside their members and support people going on missions trip this summer. So I would so encourage you guys to talk about it within your group, and to figure out who might want to go, and maybe your whole group wants to go, but even just having one or two people and supporting them is such an amazing thing. So think about it, pray about it, and thank you, Susan, for sharing your wonderful story.